This episode of the HoneyDew is brought to you by Mint Mobile, Purple, and FITBOD. More on that later. Let's get into the do.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I'm Ryan Sickler, ryansickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all social media. I want to remind you that the Night Pants Nation Tour kicks off next month, September 16th through the 18th in Phoenix. All right, go to ryansickler.com, get your tickets. We have a bunch of dates now. We're adding a lot more coming to it, all right? So like I said, September 16th through the 18th, I'm in Phoenix. September 30th to October 2nd, I'm in Indianapolis. I'm in Vegas with Segura, October 8th and 9th. I'm doing Baltimore, October 23rd. Brea, California, October 28th, Arlington, Virginia, November 10th through the 13th, Cleveland, Ohio, December 9th through the 11th, and La Jolla, December 17th through the 19th. Those are my 2021 dates. I do have 2022 dates on the books. I'm coming to Austin. I'm coming to Kansas City, Vancouver, Edmonton. Go check ryansickler.com for the tour dates and wear your Night Pants Nation pants. And if you don't have them, come buy them at the show because we're going to be having some Night Pants Nation pants there, y'all. Join the email list. Please go to my website, ryansickler.com. Get on that email list. You'll be the first to know a lot of different stuff going on. And subscribe to the YouTube. I'm saying please. It means nothing to you and everything to us. Hit that YouTube. You're watching, just hit subscribe. It helps us big time, all right? And it's free. And the Patreon, all right? I love this fucking show, okay? The HoneyDew with y'all is such a great show. We're out there talking to everybody about the wildest shit. I can't even make it up. I mean, just watch the promos on my social, and if that's not enough, man, I don't know what the hell to do. You get the HoneyDew a day early, ad-free at no additional cost. You get the entire back catalog, video and audio option, all right? And if you sign up for a year, you get over a month free. That's the best I can do right now. And if you or someone you know has that story that has to be heard, hey, honeydewpodcast@gmail.com. Send them in. Hopefully we'll get to do an episode together. The ringtones they're popping off like crazy. I know you're out there probably scaring people with them, but they're available on iTunes. Just search my name on the iTunes store, not the podcast app, the iTunes store. Scroll down. Ringtones, boom, there they are. We're working on getting the Android ones up on my website now. And my athletes, we got 4 right now going. We got Marcus Everett, my bow fisherman right here. We got Caden Wood, my D2 pitcher at Seton Hill. We got Beck Adler, my big wave surfer. And Maverick Reed, my cowboy. All right, that's all the new info. I wanted to get this out to you and be current with it because we recorded this episode a little while ago. So that's all the updates. Now, let's do the do. We're highlighting the lowlights. You know where you are, girl. These are the stories behind the storytellers. Today's storyteller is actually back on the HoneyDew for the second time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eleanor Kerrigan, y'all. Welcome back to the HoneyDew, girl.
I'm wearing my John.
I love it. It's a Wawa John. Show that to the camera. That thing's
I look like a titless idiot. I'm sorry. My little tic-tac tits are out.
I went to hug you for the Wawa shirt, and then I realized it was John and hugged you tighter, girl.
You're like, what? Aw, shit. That's my John,
That's
man.
Great.
Yeah, I love this shirt. It's like my favorite.
Please promote everything and anything you'd like. You're out
okay,
there doing it. So wherever they can find you on the road, not just your dates, but where they go to find those dates.
Okay, so I have a website, but I don't know how to upload anything, so I apologize in advance. I'm trying to sleep with millennials again, but now that COVID's coming out, I got a 35% capacity I can let inside. So I'm going to try to get some young folk to help me fix it.
Okay.
And but I am doing May 21st, 22nd, 23rd at the La Jolla Comedy Store. Very excited about that. And one of my favorite things is also I'm doing Reno, the Laugh Factory, in June. I'm going to mess up these dates because I'm terrible at life. But I think it's the 19th that weekend.
Okay.
And guess who my feature is?
Who?
The great Brian Holtzman, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck yeah. Nuh-uh.
So if y'all want to come out to Reno and see me not be able to follow my feature, bring it on out, guys. Bring it on out. I got the craziest man alive.
You really do. That's
featuring
great.
For me. I'm embarrassed and excited at the same time because he should be headlining, but
So should you.
I know, but I do the road more than him.
Yeah.
So he
That'll be fun
that
for
is
you
hard.
both,
That is
though.
a new thing to him. So it's like, and he does hours at the store. Like they put him on last. Him and Brody were the two last. They would let them do I think Brody would do almost 2 hours sometimes. He took it like a podcast and a drum session, and then Holtzman would do the same thing, but they would fluctuate that time. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun.
You're a Comedy Store historian. I really do love. Anytime I want to know anything, I go to you. I'm like, what's the real fucking deal with this shit? You're like, you go back what? To the
93.
93?
93. And when you said Comedy Store historian,
I didn't get in there until 99.
Didn't you start La Jolla first?
No, I started in the belly room back in the Sunday night Adam Barnhart shows where there would be 10 people and they would go for fucking 3.5 hours.
Of course.
And
Adam
I
will
met Aaron
stretch a
Cater
show.
and those guys back then.
Sure.
And then we talked about it. I went through the Tommy days, which is why I never got in. It was always some bullshit.
Why do I put you in La Jolla? Never?
I've done La Jolla.
I'm a mess.
Yeah, but no.
Maybe that's where I saw you first. I don't know.
No, I'd only ever done La Jolla once. I've only still ever done La Jolla once.
Damn, I put you
always
with
Hollywood.
somebody else then. That's rude to mix up white guys like that. But I'll do that because I'm racist.
That's
so,
okay.
I did. I started in 93, but when you said Comedy Store historian, that to me, that's Jeff Scott. Unfortunately, we lost Jeff, our piano player.
That is true.
Jeff came in, I think, 95, because I had already been there, and we had another guy named Steve Moore, who was a house pianist for a long time. And then Jeff came in, and just when you find somebody that loves the store like that, it's like, oh, it's so good. Because most people come in, they're like, I'm better than this place, I'm this, I'm that. And you're not. It's history. It's a weird,
a rich history.
It's a weird history. It's a fucked up history. Are we allowed to curse on this?
Yeah.
Anyway, I already ruined that, didn't I? Tic Tac Tits. It's just a little pet name that Dice gave me on the road, which is awesome.
That's cute.
It's awesome. Yeah.
But I want to say thank you because I say you're back here, but when you first did your episode, we were literally at my kitchen table.
Was number 3, right?
That's right, number 3
My
in my
baseball
apartment. Yep. And I was like, look, we're, Tom's still building the studio out. This thing's going to go. You're like, this motherfucker's doing his show in his apartment.
I wasn't. I was like, this is awesome. I wish I had a kitchen table like this.
And
Josh was with us, Josh
right.
Adam Myers.
And now look where we are.
Right, without Josh, which is
That's
amazing.
right.
That means we moved.
Smart move. We moved up.
You also
He's going to call me about that too. Like, I heard what
shit,
you did.
Josh. No, he also, when you were doing your announcements, you said Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly jumped over the table to fight you. It was so good. Monday.
We have audio Monday, video on Tuesday. Don't you know how it goes?
That's how my grandma talks.
That's how everybody over there talks.
It's true. Baltimore and Philly have similar accents.
They're cousins.
Definitely similar accents. And I didn't know that till later because why would I talk to anybody from Baltimore and Baltimore? But not until I moved out to L.A. did I meet somebody from, and then she became a good friend and I was like, damn, she sounds like me. And they were like, oh, are you from Baltimore? I'm like, no, I'm from South Philly. I'll fucking fight you right now. But I'm working on the anger.
Just for getting it wrong, yeah.
I'm working on the anger.
Let's talk about that because you're one of 10 kids. All right, so if you don't know, if you have never heard, go listen to Eleanor's first episode. Also, her Crab Feast episode
the Crab
is fucking
Feast
goddamn great too. And I always pump the Crab Feast. It's a library of 7 years of such great guests and great stories.
I still get hit up online about the Crab Feast because we talked about the tiger.
Oh, the goddamn tiger!
And so
in the
people
neighborhood,
send me pictures of the rifle and the tiger.
Do you know that? I want to say since you told me about that being able to have a pet tiger up until certain whatever, there's been 2 or 3 other people who floated into my life that have through this podcast or somewhere else that have
I wished it
mentioned
on
pet
you.
tigers.
I willed it.
I'm like, what the fuck are y'all? I'm like, you guys happen to know Eleanor Kerrigan by any chance? Like, no. I'm like, all right.
It is weird. I didn't know.
You were the Tiger King before Tiger King.
Oh my God, how great is Tiger King?
Right?
And
you guys were doing that shit. They just kept going with it.
well, there was a place like that out in Pennsylvania, like out, and apparently all the animals got out on the freeway or something, the highway,
No,
whatever.
like tigers and shit?
Yeah, this happened.
No.
100%. And we think that our Tigger, because they gave him, it got so bad, ripping up the furniture and everything. They were like,
tiger.
Really? You can't tame him? Anyway.
He's ripping up the
in a
furniture.
row home? You can't be like, sit, get off the furniture. Get down.
Your neighbor had a pet tiger in a Philadelphia row home. It is insane to
Every
me.
time I walk by the street and I see the back of my friend Frankie's house, I'm like,
how little it is.
So little.
Yeah, so little.
And
this big.
this-
Is it the fence like this
he
into
had
the
two
alley?
other dogs
And that thing
and a
didn't eat him?
tiger. No, it was a baby. It got along. And the only
Crazy.
person, of course, that it, lived on and like cuddled up to was my brother Charlie. Naturally.
Charlie.
Charlie.
I made you say it the
Jungle
other night
Book.
when I saw
Jungle
you.
Book.
Is it? Yeah.
Dr. Doolittle's out there just walking around with all his animals. Even when we were kids, like dogs would, like stray dogs, we would be like, let's go feed the dog. I'm like, we don't feed our dog. Like, we don't have food.
Yeah.
Why are we giving food away to another dog? But like Charlie would be like, I feel bad for him, So we did that. Our dog, I don't know if I talked about Fluffy. Did
I'm
I?
not sure. I don't remember, so please.
Fluffy is, I don't remember. It's good that you get high. And
It's all new to me.
this is brand new. You hear about Fluffy? One of my favorite moments telling a Fluffy story was I did Bill Burr's The Ringers, where he put comics on, like almost like a Dangerfield thing, but he did it on Comedy Central. So we had to be clean, which was terrifying for me, but whatever. He interviewed us.
I saw
before. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Fluffy. And when my mom was taking us to this Flyers game, because I told the story about she was just had it. Like she's standing in the middle. I told it on the crab feast.
Is this the one where in the blizzard where she's dragging you?
Yeah,
I just told the story the other day to a friend. Like in the middle of a blizzard, she's dragging her children down because it's the only time they're ever going to get
free hot
front
chocolate
row seats too.
At the
and
Spectrum,
the best seats at the
at the Spectrum
Yeah,
with the Broad
we're
Street
going.
bullies. My mother was like, wrap them up, pulling the sled.
Sledding her children.
But when we were going, we saw this like thing come out of a snowdrift, and it was Fluffy, covered in snow.
I just popped out of a snowdrift.
And I was telling Burr the story, and Bill goes, oh man, back when dogs could be dogs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. Dogs would just roam the neighborhood. Like I had
And people
friends,
knew who the dog was.
Well, that's the best part. Yeah, I have 9 brothers and sisters. So I'm always Jimmy's sister, Karen's sister, Bobby's sister, Edie's sister, always somebody's sister.
Right.
And I was walking to school one day. I was in high school, and the neighbor goes, oh, hey, there's Fluffy's sister. And I'm like, that's it. That's it.
I'm done, you motherfucker.
You son of a bitch. That's how popular Fluffy was. Everybody knew Fluffy. And she was a little racist. I don't know who taught her that.
Racist dog.
I did not teach this dog. But I remember coming home from school, and I see these 2 little black girls. There was like a curly slide, and they were up at the top, and I'm like, why are they screaming? And I was like genuinely concerned walking home from school, like, what the hell's wrong? And they're help us! And I'm looking, I don't see anybody around, and then all of a sudden I see Fluffy running. He's
terrorizing.
He's got them at the top.
Wait, Fluffy's a he?
She.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Like, wow.
Fluffy. Did I say he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. That's my girl, Fluffy. She was in between. She was trans. So, no.
Trans
We don't know what she identified as. But she was going back and forth, and these poor kids are up at the stop. I'm like, God damn it, this dog. So I go across the street and get it, and they were like, that dog tried to kill us. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But if you, I don't know if she was racist or if like it was fear. Like if she sensed fear, because she bit a lot of people.
She was a biter, neighborhood biter.
If they were afraid of the dog, she bit them. So she,
like if they did any of this,
if they were
shit,
like,
it was like
she was like, "Arr, I'll show you what to be afraid of. Want something to be afraid of? So I'm gonna say my
a lot of
dad.
anger in your whole family, through all the way down into the pets.
I'm gonna say my dad trained her. You want me to show you what anger is? You afraid? I'll show you to be afraid. What?
Oh,
That's not a way.
You made me laugh so hard.
But because my dad that's when he left. And then we were just stuck with her. But this dog, she knew the neighborhood in and out. And like one night, I remember these kids were trying to steal our bikes. And me and Billy, of course, the two terrible kids together up. Because as soon as my mom would go to sleep, we'd be like, let's go. And we'd go downstairs or we'd go outside and play hockey. And we were like 9, 10, just outside. And my poor mother was working, trying to feed 10 children, no support from Cuckoo's Nest. And so, she's doing this. As soon as she went to sleep, she was passed. She died. She was like, I'm not waking up. I don't care if you guys are on fire. Don't bother me. So we would sneak down and we heard something. And our bikes were broken. So if you were picking, those were already scraps. Other
those
people
were
gave
They were
up.
already stolen.
Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. But it was usually like a cousin that would come back and be like, I'm sure one of the Kerrigan kids needs a bike, but we didn't have locks for it. Mm-hmm. So they were just piled in.
I don't ever remember, like, until my adult life, I never locked a bike up.
No.
Ever.
No.
I just remember throwing it on the ground and
if
just
it got
leave it there
stolen,
and it was there.
But did it get stolen?
One time we only had a bike stolen. That's what I'm saying. And because we're all
you
neighborhood
grew up in
kids,
a nice neighborhood.
It's an okay neighborhood, but if you took it, chances are we were going to see you riding it, or someone we knew was going to see you riding it. You had to come from somewhere else to get a bike in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what they would do. Yeah, it was. Well, we had the projects, the playground, and then our neighborhood. So it was like we would meet in the middle and fight each other, or from just other neighborhoods coming down into our neighborhood, and we didn't go in other people's neighborhoods back then. So, if this was where you're from and you venture out, you're on your own. So whatever. I did venture out a lot, but those kids would come and try to. But these two kids specifically, they were in the yard. We heard them, and they must have been going through it because our yard looked like Sanford and Son. It was a problem. It was all kinds of broken shit out there. And so they must have been going through it. And then Fluffy was like, and I was like, let's let her out, see what happens. And we let her out, and I never saw two, and they were young. I've never seen kids not put their feet to climb the fence.
They just hurtled.
It was just and they up and ran, and Fluffy chased them all the way back.
Really?
She didn't come back for hours. Like, these poor kids. I hope they're still alive. It's not my business, but it was a long time ago.
They're still alive, little Fluffy out there.
And she was a sheep and poodle. She wasn't even like a Rottweiler or something, like a scary dog. She was a fluffy dog. But I remember we all went to my sister Karen, the favorite, which reminds me, I have to tell you what happened. So we all went to her house, which was like 4 blocks away, because my dad, the house.
Only child your dad will have hang out.
100%. Yeah. And by the way, it was his house she was living in. He gave it to her. We got nothing. No, I'm kidding. She bought it. She bought it.
Okay. All right.
It was for sale.
But he wouldn't sell it to you guys.
I'm sure he gave her a discount. But her and her husband were either renting or buying. I forget. But it was my grandmom's house, my dad's mom. And then my mom's mom lived right up the street from there. So my mom and dad grew up one street apart. So we were it was Thanksgiving. We go to her house and we left Fluffy at home. Well, this bitch was like, I'm not staying here with no food. And I'm going to be honest. You talk about not locking bikes. I don't even think we had a lock on our front door. It was like, if you come in, that's on you. You now made a fatal mistake.
11 of you in there. Yeah.
Of walking in to a tribe. And you don't know who's sleeping over. Because my brother Jimmy, all his friends used to get kicked out of their house. So he would just have them sleeping randomly. Like the Rizzos were always there. Like Jimmy Rizzo, always. He would eat my mom's lunch. And then
for her work? Nuh-uh. Like the lunch she made the night before?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And she'd be like, God damn it, these goddamn. But if my mom said, she's like, at least they're not out stealing cars. So at least they're here. So she would go to work and And I remember, and Jimmy, we were so close with the Rizzos. Like, I grew up with David, Bobby grew up with Mike, Johnny grew up with Chrissy. Like, it was just how it worked. And so my mom knew their parents too. They grew up together. That's how neighborhoody it was. And so Jimmy was like, hey, that egg salad was good. And my mom's like, you ate it. You ate it. You, I can hit. You.
I can hit.
So it was like that. But, you never knew what you were coming into. So I don't ever remember locking the doors. But Fluffy could figure out how to get out. And she was scratching on my sister's door.
She knew where you all went?
She went to my grandma's. She used to walk. My mom's mom would walk by herself. They never drove. My mom never drove. Her mom never drove. She would walk. My grandma would come over, hang out with us, whatever. She's probably babysitting. Who knows? And Fluffy would walk her home all the way to the house and walk back by herself.
No shit. And everybody knew Fluffy.
They'd be like, hey, Fluffy. She's like, hey, got any biscuits or food? Because they don't have shit.
Did she get along with the tiger?
I don't know if Fluffy met the tiger. That's interesting to think of because Fluffy was always around us.
Got a tiger attitude.
100%. But she was probably busy. She also played with this dog.
Busy.
She became friendly with this dog, Blackie. And Blackie lived next to the Jaffagliones.
That's the best last name in the history of last names. The Jaffagliones.
As Steve Simone would say, here's your sign. Greatest last name ever.
Yeah. But wait, Fluffy, like the dog named Blackie, was Blackie black?
Yes.
Well, then Fluffy wasn't racist.
Right. She just if you didn't like
people.
But
fear.
a lot of times, like black people, hey, get that dog away from me, and they would get fear, and she would go after them.
I got one. Here we go.
You're good. But in fairness to Fluffy, she also bit Michael Mulvihill and Carol Rawlings. So
white people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
those are white names. Yeah. Mulvihill's a white name. But yeah, but this thing, wait, what was I just telling you about? My brain went, with her going to my sister's house, walking my grandma home.
She came over.
With Blackie. So she would go with Blackie, and my mom would be like running late for work. And she's like, as long as the kids are at school, make sure you're in school. She would run to her job. She worked for the Philadelphia Navy Shipyard, and she'd go walk to the bus. And as she's walking to the bus, Blackie, the dad, and Fluffy would be there. And Fluffy, the guy had Fluffy on a leash. And my mom's like, oh, boy. So my mom...
My mom would
walk by, and the guy goes, don't worry, she doesn't bite. My mom's like, yeah, I know. She ignored her, and she pet her.
Fluffy wasn't like barking like
hey, that's my lady. That's my.
That's the lady that doesn't feed me.
That's the owner. Is that my? And so, poor thing. And my mom just walked by and went on the bus and was like, Fluffy was out, and they have her on a leash. She got pregnant by that dog.
Nuh-uh. Fluffy is too much.
What a whore. My mom, poor babe. I don't know how to get rid of the babies. She had an abortion,
10
whore.
kids, a fucking dog, and now the dog's got puppies.
The dog's like, this house is horny. I'm going out to get some. There's too many kids in this house.
Oh, my God. Your fucking life. Let's take a quick break and tell you about our first sponsor, Mint Mobile. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after speaking with them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only by cutting out retail stores. There's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Instead, Mint just passes on sweet savings direct to you. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com mintmobile.com/honeydew. That's mintmobile.com/honeydew. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/honeydew. Our next sponsor is Purple. Doesn't it seem like the world's against us from getting a good night's sleep this time of year? But when you have a Purple mattress, you can sleep cool and comfortable no matter what the world throws at you. That's because only Purple mattresses have the grid. Its unique ventilated design allows air to flow through to help you sleep cool, even when it feels like 1,000 degrees out. And the grid is amazingly supportive for your back and legs while cushioning your shoulders, neck, and hips, no matter how you sleep. Unlike memory foam, which remembers everything, the grid bounces back as you move and shift. So you never get that I'm stuck feeling you do with memory foam. And I'll tell you what I love too. I got the Purple pillow. I sleep on it every night. I love it. It keeps me nice and cool. It's good support. I'm a side sleeper. It's a great pillow for that, all right? So here's what you can do. You can try your Purple mattress risk-free with free shipping and returns. Financing is available too. Purple is comfort reinvented. So right now, you can get 10% off any order of $200 or more. Go to purple.com/honeydew and use promo code honeydew. That's purple.com/honeydew, promo code honeydew for 10% off any order of $200 or more. Purple.com/honeydew, promo code honeydew. Terms apply. Our next sponsor is FITBOD. Don't get stuck doing the same workouts. Making progress towards the future you means overcoming new challenges. FITBOD creates a fitness program that continually adapts with new exercises and dynamic intensity that adjusts to how you're progressing. So you'll be challenged to meet your goals at your own pace, all right? There's no perfect body that everyone can achieve, but what we can do is continually to become a better version of ourselves, all right? No workout is one size fits all, so FITBOD creates a fitness program that continually adapts to you so you stay challenged with new exercises, pacing, and intensity based on where you are and what you want to be, all right? So I've already lost about 15 pounds now. I like to say 16 because it's 1 pound more, but it's about that. And I've been working out and I've been staying healthy, and I've downloaded the app on my phone. It's super easy to use, and I've been using it, and I love it. I'm going to tell you, you can pick workouts that are tailored toward your equipment and goals. So like if I'm on the road and I don't have a gym, I can find equipment in there or workouts on there to do without equipment, all right? I usually get bored. I'm always, just try, and with FITBOD, it's constantly reinventing the workout so I don't have to get bored, all right? So whether you're exercising 3 days a week or twice a day, every workout is scientifically proven to be better than the last. And FITBOD workouts are balanced to avoid overworking muscles with varied exercises to keep you sharp. Like I said, no equipment, no worries. FITBOD has body weight routines for those looking to get fit at home or on the go. FITBOD is super easy to use and even has HD video tutorials to make learning new exercises a breeze, all right? Pick up the pace on your fitness journey with FITBOD today, and your future self will thank you. Get 25% off your membership at fitbod.me/honeydew. That's 25% off at fitbod.me/honeydew.
So when people are like, oh, why did you move to LA? I'm like, you come over for a minute.
Well, I always think of you whenever I see people who are, soft or any of these people that bitch about something. I told you a little story before here, and and I'm like, this girl heard that shit and she quit the job, and you're like, I would have sat there and talked to him for 3 to 4 hours. And I'm like, that's exactly, I mentioned you. Like, Eleanor would talk to this guy. So you mentioned also, like, you said I'm working on my anger, and I know you're half joking. So
no.
I know, but
you mean working on it?
Working on it, yes.
I let it out.
That's the part you're joking on. But I know you have anger. Can we talk about, like, because you're so familiar to me. Your way is, like, I watch you and Dice on the way you talk to one another. But also, I know, like, with your brothers, you're like, you don't have time for the bullshit.
No.
You don't have time for the fucking bullshit.
And it's a lot of bullshit.
You've done that. So I've always respected that about you. But why do you feel like, because I know I'm angry. I mean, what was it that your dad left? What was it that really got you into being just like fucking pissed about things?
I don't know. I know that, like, my mom would be like, just don't break anything up here. Like, I could break stuff that was already broken in the yard because my little brother Bobby makes fun of me because it would be the dumbest things that I get angry about. So I always try to figure out, why would that make you angry? Or why did you get to that level? Mm-hmm. So I'll be blow drying my hair, right? And I have big, curly, crazy hair. So
Beautiful
it
hair.
is not a easy tame, right? So I'm like learning how to tame this thing, and it wasn't working. And and this is at my mother's house, where I'm sure somebody was in the shower, because that's our bathroom. You know, somebody could be taking a shit, somebody taking a shower, and somebody's blow
I want
drying
to
their
ask you
hair.
about that too. Like,
It's a
row home, what did you have? Did you have 2?
no, well, 1.5.
1.5. Okay.
So
Thank God.
right, but there was times where I'm in the shower, Jimmy's shaving, Johnny's taking a shit, and we're all in this room.
Right.
So that could be, you know, that stench or
Never having
Jimmy
your own
peering
privacy.
in. No, I'm just kidding. He always used to joke. He's like, "Come on, I'll give you a piece of gum. Come on."
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. He was kidding, but Jimmy's a pervert and open about it. You know, he'll be like, "Oh, look at that." Like he'll be like, "Damn, that girl's hot," and his daughter will be like, "Dad, she's my age." You know, and he's like,
he's
"Oh,
still
my
that
fault,
way.
my
My
fault."
fault.
And then I'll go, "But look at the girl. Look at the girl." Like,
But am I wrong?
Hey.
Am I wrong?
But he doesn't touch. He's more of a talker. You know, like a
About
whatever.
them, not
He's-
to them so much.
He's somebody that no,
He still has game?
He's somebody that like that girl would get offended by, or whomever the person would get offended by, because like even when he would come visit, I was living with my roommate Chris. We lived together for 12 years out here. He was my best friend. We both suck cock, so we were one. And so we got along great, like amazing. And we were polar opposites in that, like, he was a morning person, like a chipper.
I know those people, yeah.
And he used to fuck with me, and he'd open the door and go, "Good morning, good morning." I'm like, "I'll take your life away from you. You know, don't do." And so he would laugh and then slam the door and like run away. Like we close, tight. So whatever, we're still tight to this day. So Chris, he goes, "Elle, I think somebody's outside calling you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And we lived like over the garage. We had a little cute little balcony. And then he pulled up, and this person pulls up in the driveway, and he's like, "Titty, titty."
Titties yelling.
And he goes, "I think it's for you." So I go outside. It's my brother Jimmy.
He's yelling.
Titty. I know, but like Chris was like, a lot of people might get upset down there. I'm like, no, it's amazing, just yelling. But that's who Jimmy is, whatever. So I go back to the bathroom, like with Bobby. I was blow drying my hair. I don't know where Bobby was, if he was like in the shower, getting out of the shower. Who knows, you know? And it was tiny. It's a tiny little.
I had one.
You know, it's not even half the size of this room. It's even closer. Yeah. It's probably from you to the wall. And so anyway, so I was, God, fuck, I must have had a date or something. Who knows? I was probably trying to get some. And I'm blow drying my hair and it's not working. I went, "Motherfucker." And I threw the blow dryer through the medicine cabinet, which is glass.
Yeah.
The mirror shatters, and Bobby goes, "Now how are you going to fix your hair, you fucking idiot?" And he just walked away. And I was just like, but like, that's a normal occurrence. There's shattered glass everywhere. And it's just like, all right, I'll go in the other room and we all did it. I mean, maybe Bobby did. I don't know. I know I'm bad. I've punched through things. Jimmy has broken things.
I've punched my share of walls when I was younger, for sure.
Did you fight a lot growing up? Like, I fought
a ton. I was in a ton of fights. Especially at 16, 17, after my dad died and we were on our own.
Oh,
like,
shit.
If you brushed against me the wrong way, I was ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it. That's the other thing. I loved it. I was not scared of confrontation. I was not scared of, like once your dad walks away from you, it's like, what the fuck are you, unless you have a gun or a knife, what are you going to do?
And even then.
Not
we were
me.
still in.
Listen, I'm running. If I see a gun, I'm running. Zigzagging.
I've had them both. I've had the knife one. Wasn't me. It was my friend was having a fair fight with a friend and she pulled a knife. And I was like, no, we're not doing knives. And she's like, fuck you. And she started to come at me. I go, okay. But she don't know that I grew up around, because I'm out of my neighborhood. I'm now on 2nd Street. This is 100% Irish except for one block, which is mixed Puerto Rican and Irish. One block, and they're all related. And they already know me. So
You're good.
I'm good. I'm okay. This girl and I have already had our thing. We had our fight. So we know where we are with one another, kind of thing. So I was like, no, you're not pulling a knife on her. And she came after me, and she don't know, in my neighborhood, I have a lot of, they used to say there's something in the water in our neighborhood.
Water.
That we put out the craziest of South Philly came from this neighborhood. And this guy, Patty, used to teach me how to take knives off people.
Nuh-uh.
Just because we were bored. 13 years old. He's like, all right, I'm coming at you. What do you do?
I fucking love it.
So he would do it to me, and I'd be like, ow, and I'm like, damn. And now I look like Edward Scissorhands because I got cuts all over. I'm trying to take this knife. I'm learning. But now, flash to, I could have been a year or two later, this girl pulls a knife, and I'm like, no. Patty Cantlin taught me this. And I took it off her, and she was just like, and we became instant friends.
Really?
Instant friends. Tightest, one of my best friends.
Still.
Unfortunately, she's doing life in prison. She did not learn.
That's not where I thought that was going to go.
She did not learn from that mistake. She did not.
Sounds like she might have took that knife back,
She came from one of the craziest families.
Are you still in touch with her?
No.
No.
We all lost touch with her. Everybody asks, and
What happened?
I have no idea.
You really don't know why she's serving?
I really don't. I lost contact with her.
Oh, before that.
Yeah, and then everybody was just looking. You know how the Facebook, the social
prison
media,
may have taken her away from you.
social media, all that shit. People are like, "Where is this person? Where is this person?" We thought she was dead.
Yeah,
because it was a lot. And her brothers were bad and in and out of jail. And I think there's only one left out of them. And
like left alive?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, they were crazy. God bless them. But they loved me. So I was like, allies in this bitch. And but somebody found out that she was in prison. And I was like, okay, that at least we know she's not passed. But whatever. Who knows now? I haven't heard in years. That was 15 years ago that I found that out, maybe even more. And I have another guy friend that I grew up with, Nikki, who's doing life in prison as well.
Do you see in touch with him at all?
No. We lost contact. He went in early. He went in when we were still like in the neighborhood kind of thing. Or maybe I had just moved to LA, because I moved to LA when I was 21. So maybe I had just moved out here, and then I found out a little bit later he was doing life. But they were all still trying to help him. Like, he would go in and out of prison. He had no parents. I don't know where his parents were. And like, we would go to his house. They had money, and so the neighbors would check on him, and we would do the craziest shit with him and his neighbor. His neighbor was even more insane. His father was in the mob or something like that, loan shark. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but his neighbor was in the mob. And when his father was locked up, his neighbor, Stevie, rented a helicopter and tried to take his father out of prison.
What? Get the fuck out.
I swear to God, you can look it up.
They thought they were going to airlift his ass out of prison. I mean, they'll shoot that motherfucking helicopter right down. Yeah.
So Stevie was crazy.
Did they actually go through with this, or he got busted with the rental?
They got busted.
They got it in the air and everything.
They got it in the air. They got it close to, and it got bad. And Stevie was the one with the cars. So he had that kind of money. So we were little, and I'd be like wedged in the back of this or going on a crazy Trans Am test drive, T-tops off, But my brothers were more in with him. Like, I was kind of like this dirty little girl is like, who's that? It's like, oh, well, she can break into anything. So whatever you need her for, she's cool. But my close friend became Stevie's best friend. And then when he went to jail, I don't know if it was after the helicopter incident or...
I can't even.
He was crazy. We used to say he was a cat because he had 9 lives. He had a motorcycle accident on Broad Street, and him and the girl were drugged straight up the street, and his whole chest was ripped off.
Fuck.
Skin chest. She survived as well.
His titties were smaller than yours?
If you can believe it. Remember this, Stevie? No, I'm just kidding. You know, listen. I'm used to the, and by the way, wearing a sports bra and pushing them.
Why?
How does she not get laid? Because no gender knows which one she is. Is that Caitlin? Caitlin, is that you? So I remember, so he had some crazy incidents, but one of the worst things with him was when he went to jail, not my friend Nikki, Nikki I was closer with because we used to have stealing contests, me and Nikki. We were tight.
Yeah, you just said, I want to talk about breaking into shit and stuff after this. So I want to hear this first.
So, so Stevie and my buddy Richie became real tight, real tight. And they were like inseparable. And he was a little older than us, Stevie, but Richie and I were the same age. And one day, his dad was a fireman or something. Mm-hmm. And they used to hang at this bar, like right outside, right across the street from Richie's house. And so they go to this bar, like they would come in and out of this bar a lot. And I was walking down the street and I saw them running out of this bar. And then all of a sudden, it was like a ton of people out, and they were by this truck, a pickup truck that the dad had. And so I was like, what the hell? That's Richie's dad, you know? And I walk over and they open the door and it's Richie on the front seat with 2 bullets in the back of his head and money stuffed in his mouth.
No.
And I was like, and I think I was 15.
You saw this?
I saw them open the door. I saw everybody was gathered. Apparently the car was running. It was a hit. It was quick. It was whatever. The money in the mouth is don't rat.
He was a rat.
They thought he was going to rat. He didn't rat because when Stevie went in,
who took the money?
This was his.
This is Philly. Who took the money?
I was thinking of it. I got to be honest.
Somebody took that money.
I was like, that's a lot of wasted money.
How much was it?
I don't know.
I'll take that bloody money.
I don't know, but it was. I remember going to his funeral.
That's what that meant.
15,
though. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, that means you're gonna rat or. You were thinking of ratting.
That's how they're letting everybody notice the reason this dude's dead is because
he's
he was
rat.
going to rat.
Yeah.
God.
So
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, it was.
Is that an old school mob thing? I've never heard that one.
They didn't let me in because I'm Irish, but but I do remember being like, what's with all the money? And I found out. But I was 15, I think. And the only reason is this
your first dead body?
No. First friend.
Okay.
Dead body. You know, they used to joke, want to see Fat Larry in the trunk? No, I don't want to see Fat Larry in the trunk.
Well, you saw a dead body before that? Mm-hmm. In the neighborhood?
In a trunk, yeah.
For real?
Things like, yeah, that was a thing. It was all mob.
What do you mean?
It was all mob run. You'd see a car on fire, a person in it, you know.
In it?
Yeah, it was all mob run. It was, you know, we would just, one of the kids I used to date, well, it wasn't dated. We were in 3rd grade. I'm like, what? Who wants to get in this communion dress, you know? Look at this. Wink, wink. You know, like, I was a little hoe, but this kid that I was kind of dating, whatever you call it at that age, we were walking to his dad's house in this place, Packer Park, which we call the suburbs. Don Herrera coined it as the suburbs of South Philly. But it was, we never called it that because we were like, it's still, the houses were way bigger and more expensive, but you had to go under the tunnel, like under the bridge to go into that neighborhood. We were on the other side. So it's weird because that neighborhood's there, then our neighborhood, then the playground, then the projects. So it's like, it's like a third world country. Like, where is this? I don't know what middle class, I don't know what anything is. We know that's where the money is, that area. So we would go into Packer Park. We were walking to Packer Park where his dad lived. And as we were walking up, the house blew up.
The house blew up?
They blew up his father's house.
What are you talking about?
Thank
the house
God
you're
his dad
walking
wasn't
to?
Yeah, his dad wasn't
You could have been
home.
in there. Fuck his dad. You could have been in there. You were
there
almost
were 6 of us.
On the way, total 6 of you?
On the
They
way.
didn't give a fuck about kids or anything. Then.
I mean, they wouldn't know. The parents were separated, so he was, staying with his mom on 9th Street. So this was in our neighborhood. When parents split up.
How close are you to that? 100 yards? How close?
Maybe.
You feel it?
Yeah, we were at the tunnel. We could see the smoke. Yeah, we were probably 100 yards.
You saw
insane.
That shit.
Yeah,
it's just burning when you get there.
Burning, but the main concern was his dad not being in there.
Right.
So we were still like in shock, and we were with his cousin.
No wonder you're so fucking angry.
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
The whole upbringing, not just the house.
So it's
and
like,
being
because
one of 10.
we were outside. Like people are like, you learn like racism. They teach that at home, right?
Yeah, that's in the home.
And that is a thing. But I learned it on the street because if I came home and say I dropped an M-bomb or said something negative about black kids or whatever, my mother would flip out and beat the shit out of us. But what I didn't know is she learned it because her grandma learned it. So it was passed down. She learned to say certain things that she didn't realize were racist because they weren't around. There wasn't a lot of black people in their neighborhood. The people that were in the projects were the Irish kids at that point when she was growing up. They were just trying to come out. They were the ones trying to get out of the projects, whatever. So that was completely all white, but Irish, I guess if you're going to label where they were from. And so they didn't know from that. But my grandma heard these words, and they were racist words. And then my mom went to work and said them to a horrible, I can't do it because it's an N-bomb, but she didn't know. And so when you get like, my mother's going to kill me if my brother Tommy finds this and plays this for her, I'm in big trouble. I'm sorry for this story. Is there a warning? No, I'm kidding. No. So, when you sweat and you get like right here, it gets like little, when you're a kid.
Little dirt line.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. What'd you call it?
A dirt line.
That's not what they called it. You went there? You got it?
Got it now.
So.
That's not what they call it.
And my mother grew up saying that. No clue of who it was offending or where it came from. No clue. I don't even think my grandma did. I got to be honest. So, because they were just struggling in their own existence. So they weren't rich kids. They weren't, they lived in a neighborhood. My mom said she wasn't allowed to go on 15th Street because that's where all the drunken sailors were. That's the Navy that's where they used to house them. But these guys would be on leave or whatever and get drunk. And it could be a fight. It could be all rape. It could be it could be all kinds of shit. So my mom wasn't allowed. That's all she remembered, And so she wasn't racist. So she's at work. She's sitting with her black coworker. And she goes, oh, no.
No. That lady, what did she do? Fight her? What
she went,
that's a
excuse me?
That's a Philly black lady. That's not just a black lady.
My mother was like the most naive, sweet woman you'd ever meet. Not a bad word to say about anybody. Says that. The lady goes, excuse me? And my mother goes, yeah, what do you call it? And she went, dirt. And my poor sweet mother was like, oh my God. And
dirt.
They became instant friends, lifelong friends. I'm serious. My mom invited her for dinner. She was like, you have to help me.
Right there.
You have to. I didn't
Please
know.
help me in this world.
I did not know
My
this.
goddamn kids taught me that.
No, her mother. We don't know shit about this.
Oh, God.
We didn't know shit about this. So she had this woman come over for dinner. This was from her job. This was before she had kids. This is, she worked at the quartermasters.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So this is before she had kids. So we weren't even in existence. This is how young she is.
So this is why she was also so strict and stern with hearing any of that shit.
Because she was like, I did not know that because, it's learned out. But so we weren't allowed to talk any of that. Like we were whatever, but in the streets, it was on. Whoever we were mad at was who we were cursing and saying whatever slurs. And that went for Irish, Polish, Italian. Can't even say Polish. That's how bad they are. Anyway, it went for everybody. You got labeled for what your nationality was.
Isn't it interesting? Because there was a time when we grew up where there were Polak jokes.
100%. My dad will still tell them.
100 of them.
He'll give you 40 of them.
I never understood why they were sort of the scapegoat of Earth. You know what I mean?
Nice
Like
people.
they just made Polish to be the idiots. You know what I mean? They just chose them.
Have you met him? I'm kidding. That's what my dad would say. Let me introduce you to Glenn. I'm like, Dad, that's rude. He's right here.
I talked about we had a restaurant. I think it's still there in Baltimore, but it's called Polak Johnny's. We
have Polacks too.
Right. It's a hot dog, a killer hot dog place. Mm-hmm. And so I'm at work. This is probably like early 2000s, and I was talking about this restaurant. I say I get this writing gig, and I'm like, oh yeah, Polak Johnny's. He's like, what'd you just say? I'm like, she's like, that's racist. I'm like, you might be right. But
not in this neighborhood.
I Google it and I'm like, here's the restaurant. It's called Polak Johnny's.
Yeah.
The sign's all over it. Maybe he's Polish or the original owner was and he took it as an affectionate way to say it. But I'm just telling you, are you telling me I can't go eat at that restaurant?
Because he's racist?
Or are you telling me I can eat there, but I just can't say the goddamn name of it because it's a great hot dog. Can I have their chili dog?
Yeah. See, that's a thing. People own it. Where I come from.
Yeah.
And
my grandma used to say it all the time. Dago,
very few
Wop,
people get offended.
They're all Italian, and they would call themselves names all the time. But that's where that's what I'm saying.
You're a Guinea? Mm-hmm. I'm kidding.
You're very much like my family. Like, we're ball busters.
We call it what we see it. Now, coming out here.
Listen, asshole. How many times, and you say that to a regular person, like, asshole. I'm like, what did I say?
Well,
what's wrong? Is that
we also say it in like the form of a sentence, like, what are you, a jerk off?
Yeah.
Let me think about that. Am I a jerk off? Like my sister Karen.
That's affectionate where I come from. If somebody says, listen, asshole. I'm like, oh, they love me. They want me to hear what they have to say. Yeah.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah. I'm apologize if I've asked you and you've said it because we've done a few episodes together now. Have you been arrested?
Yes, but
and did we talk about it?
Mostly for fighting, never for
theft. Or
no,
anything. All right.
Theft was just they would call because it was dumb shit.
So what's the first thing you remember stealing? Do you know?
No, not the actual first thing, but I remember with my friend Nikki, who's doing life. We had a competition in their neighborhood, which is the rich neighborhood. They had a big supermarket. And we went in. It was me, Nikki, Charlie, my brother Billy, probably Chris, two Chris's. I'm not going to say their last names.
Yeah, don't call them out.
I'm good.
You said that.
And they're still my closest friends. Yeah. So okay, probably them. And we went in and we were like, and of course I'm the only girl. I'm always the only girl. Just the dirty girl who's ready to fight at any moment and whatever.
Are you also the youngest always too, or?
I was younger. Yeah, because Billy is a year older, but like a year, nothing crazy. Like, was Nikki my age? He might have been my age. I forget. But I don't remember him from school. He didn't go to school. He was a bad kid. He didn't go to school with us. He was a kid we hung out with. I don't even know if he went to school. I got to be honest. But he was just always around. And so we go to, and his parents owned a convenience store. So we would go in there until they both went in. And then for embezzlement or something. And that's when he had no parents. And so.
And now he's serving life. See, this makes me feel good. I had no parents, and I'm sitting right here with you.
God bless.
I'm sitting right here with
See
you.
that? You had no parents.
No, and from 16 on, I had no parents.
Wow. Who? No, an aunt.
Well, I lived with my grandmom for.
Grandma.
Well, we lived on our own from 16 to 18. At 18, my mom kicked us out of the house we were in, even though she would stay with her boyfriend. My brother and I went and lived. My younger brother stayed with her. My brother and I went and lived with my grandmom, but for a year and a half, and then she dropped dead in front of us, and that was the end of that.
In front of you?
I gave her CPR and all that shit. So at the top of the stairs of that fucking row home in Baltimore, and right in front of that goddamn little bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Right there at the top of the landing was the bathroom. Her bedroom was right there. There was a hallway that was long.
I was going to say, did she have a hallway to her room?
It wasn't even a hallway. It was a banister
Yeah.
so you didn't fall over the fucking stairs coming up. And then there was this room and this room where I stayed.
Yeah.
And I would have I had a twin bed and a dresser, and I'd have to turn sideways to get in that motherfucker.
Same
Yeah.
with the middle room. See, we didn't have the narrow hallway.
It wasn't a hallway.
I was always jealous of that.
It wasn't a
yeah,
hallway.
but it's like a vestibule. It's like a
It was
short
10 feet long.
before a door. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So,
it was before a door.
Yeah. So my friend Melissa had that, and I was always jealous, like, ooh, look at this.
And I lived in the basement for a while too, like tricked that out a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, from then on, I had no real nothing.
And you have a brother, a sister?
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
A younger brother and a twin brother.
And what did she go down from? A heart attack?
My dad died of a heart attack. My grandmom also died of a heart attack.
But what your mom? You said she dropped dead in front of you.
No, my grandmom did.
Oh, your grandma.
So my mom still alive. My dad died of a heart attack. We found him in his bed in the morning. Then we lived on our own from 16 to 18 in this apartment where my mother had it, but she lived at her boyfriend's.
Okay.
So we were alone Monday through Saturday. She'd come home Sunday for a couple hours, do laundry, and bounce.
Wow.
And the three of us raised each other. And then at 18, she stopped getting a check because we were minors when my father died. And at 18, she kicked us out because she no longer got the money. And my grandmom said, you can come stay with me. But only a year, not even a year and a half into that, she dropped dead.
Oh, Jesus.
And then it was Dunsville for good.
Jesus.
Been no net since, Eleanor Kerrigan.
See that? Look at you. You have any arrests?
None.
Muzzle.
And I'm almost 50. I'm not doing time.
Okay. Good
And,
for you.
Yeah, I could have been a statistic. I wanted to be a different statistic.
Listen, this statistic was one of my favorite statistics for a long period of time. Like when we did so we had this competition, who could steal the most out of this. We knew where the manager was. And I mean, we cased the joint. We went in and I thought, all right. Oh, Charlie was with us. Did I say Charlie was with us?
Mm-mm.
Charlie was with us.
Good old Charlie.
So me, Charlie, and Billy were together a lot until Charlie started, he was older than us, and he started growing his hair long and listening to the rock music, and then Billy and him parted ways. Like, hey, man, that's not cool. We listen to Rick James in this bitch, so whatever. It was just he growing up and growing past us. So, but this time Charlie was with us, and he was pretty good at stealing too. So I was like, how am I going to win this competition? It's got to be about how much things are, right? So I stole cigarettes, and I'm 9 at this point. And I lined my waist with cartons of cigarettes. That was when it was open.
Yep,
That's how old I am.
Totally remember. No, I remember. I talk about my buddy had the best move. He would grab 2, walk around to 7-Eleven, buy a big gulp, and then, out loud, like, you know what? I'm not going to get these, and put them back. But he would keep 1. He always grabbed 2, kept 1. It worked every fucking time. And then they started locking them up behind the fucking cashier.
I may have been the reason they brought the locks in.
You fucking had how would you do it? And how old are you? How old are we talking? 9.
And I put them in the elastic in my shorts, like
all the way around your waist.
Around my waist. Titless, had box tits. No, I'm just kidding. So, I had it may have been like spring-ish or fall-ish. It depends. But for some reason, I had a bigger shirt, like a sweatshirt of sorts or whatever. And so I was able to hide them. And we go out, and Charlie's like, would you get, everybody's out, What you get? What you get? And I'm like, just keep walking, you know. And behind this, there's really nothing because the Navy shipyard's up there.
But you're all together, so you just made a hit on that little fucking
Oh, it's a hit. Yeah, it's a big hit. And it's a lot of money because the cigarettes were jumping up in price. Not a lot, but like, you know, it's going to be more than a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Or whatever you steal. So I'm like,
and a carton's what, 20 packs?
10
packs,
I believe. So it was probably $20 back then, which is what people would kill for now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And so, but I was like, okay, I'm adding. Maybe it was 15 or 20. I forget. But I remember it being a big number. And to us, it was like, oh my God. So I'm walking out. And so behind this supermarket, you can run all the way up Broad Street to a place we call Down the Lakes, which I just as an adult found out that's FDR Park. No idea. Anyway, so I didn't pay attention. We call it Down the Lakes. I don't even know if there's a lake in there. I got to be honest. No, there's a lake. But we would go down there, right? And nobody's down there. So that's where we're going to open our stuff. So we have a good almost a half a mile to run to this place. And so I'm walking. I'm nervous. And I go, wait, where's Nikki? And nobody's showing what they have because they're waiting. And we're like, where's Nikki? There's Nikki. And we're walking. And out of nowhere, we hear, go. And we're like, go. We turn. This motherfucker had a grocery cart filled. It curved. It was, and he's running and things are flying off.
He's got the stolen shit and the fucking cart
and he's
too.
Running with the cart. And this is the 80s, so they don't have those things.
It's not quiet either, though.
Yeah, but they didn't, you couldn't stop us. We ran. We were soaking wet, hiding. And now half his cart's gone, but he's still, this motherfucker beat me.
Yeah.
Because he's got a cart. So I was pissed. They're like, what did you get? And I'm like, you take a cart. That's cheating. A whole fucking cart. We're going to get arrested. You know, and I'm flipping out. What did you get? And I'm like, I got cigarettes. They're like, what are we going to do with those? I'm like, I guess smoke them. And that's how I started smoking.
Is it really? That's how you started? That's terrible. You stole cigarettes and started smoking.
Down the lake, we had a hideout. It had food and cigarettes in there. And we would go all the way down the lakes to have food and cigarettes and, you know, that was our little cubby hole, if you will, where we hid our shit.
So,
but I got hooked too, smoking.
What about stealing? Did you get hooked on the stealing? Did you like that?
No, I hated it. And I think I remember the last thing I stole, I was in high school and I guess it was like makeup of some sort, maybe mascara. I'm not sure. And I put it up my sleeve, you know, and my friend Kim was with me and, yeah, she was doing it too. Throwing things in her pocket, a little five-fingery. All of us were poor, whatever. So we're just, not that that's an excuse, because after this thing, I never stole again. So I get caught, and they go, we're going to call your house. You know, we're calling your mother. And I go, go ahead. Here's the number. Because here's what the Kerrigans did. My mom was always working. Somebody had to make money. So we get a phone call and be like, yeah, I'm Mrs. Kerrigan, or yes, I'm Mr. Kerrigan, whatever it was. And
even though maybe you all went your separate ways, everyone was on the same page when it came to a call at the house.
100%.
You're Mr. or Mrs. Kerrigan,
100%.
Take it, don't fucking rat us out.
Nobody rats. I think
or
I
else you
told
get 2 in the head and a fucking wad of money in your mouth.
That I didn't learn till later. But before that, they hung me over the banister upside down because
Who did?
My brothers.
Why would you tell them?
Because I was
going to
I was going to tell my father something. I think I was 6, and they held me up, and this is what you get for ratting. That's what rats get. And I was like, ah. I think my parents could see my fingers coming out, like.
Fuck.
It was bad.
It is ruthless.
They were like, you, and so I never rat. You never rat. They taught us in the house. That I did learn at home. And so we would always, you know, back each other. Edie got caught stealing. Yes, I'm Mrs. Kerrigan. I go pick her up. You know, my mom's stuck with a baby at the house, so she sent me. and she is in big trouble, the whole thing. Okay, they let her go. And again, we were young. We were so young. So this time when I was in high school and they called my mother, guess who didn't go to work that day?
Nah, that's the only reason.
I was white as a ghost. Like, oh, shit. I don't know why she was home. I don't remember her being home. I think she got sick at work and came home. So now she has to get on a bus and come up, because she don't drive, and come all the way up Broad Street and pick up jackass number 8 for stealing. And then on the way home gives what I call the worst lecture ever about stealing. And then is it because I don't give you enough? We don't.
Oh, no.
Now here it comes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
When I cry, it's like a dude crying because it don't happen. Do you know what I mean? I'm cold. And so when I'm like this.
She's just hitting you heavy, huh?
Here she goes, right? And I can remember the words and start crying right now. Like it's what we call an acting sense memory.
Yeah. How old?
14.
And you remember everything she said?
Every word. On the bus, the money she had to use to get to the bus.
What it cost? How much was it cost? How much?
I don't know. Was it 50 cents, 75 cents? But that's a lifetime for my mother. This is a woman who take all the bills back because my dad wouldn't pay them. And in fact, when my friend's funeral, our lights were out. And I was 15. We didn't have no lights.
Really?
And I couldn't find a shirt. And I couldn't see in the dark. And I'm going through, you got to imagine there's all these kids up in there's piles of clothes. Like, where's mine? Where's my shirt? And all our stuff was together. Nothing was separate.
No, really?
Yeah, it took us long to get ready. Like the older kids would cut theirs, like my brother Jimmy bought a big trunk. I remember his trunk. We used to break in it all the time and steal his change. Anyway, he's like, I'll fucking kill you kids. But he would put his clothes in there, nice things he didn't want us wearing, and he would lock them. Like it was like a workplace, you have to lock your shit up if you want to keep it. And so I was looking, and I remember I went out, and as I got to the church, and thank God I had a jacket on, it was a pink and black shirt.
Nuh-uh. To a memorial?
To a viewing, yeah. And I was like, fuck. And I remember being so embarrassed because I had to get ready in the dark.
Your lights are off.
The lights are off. It's, and oh man, and it was the fall, so it got dark earlier, and I have such a vivid memory of everything from Stevie being there, from his girlfriend Nicole, who was in the car bike accident with him, and I'm sorry, not Stevie's girlfriend being there, and Stevie's family, like cousins and stuff that I knew, because Stevie was in jail at this point.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, because they thought Richie was going to rat on, like things they thought he knew too much. So they assumed he was going to rat, but he wouldn't do that, and he was very young. So he could have been, what do you call it? Maybe coerced out of information. He was 15, 16.
All right. So what are you doing? That is a kid. That's a kid. What are you doing to work on your anger and shit? Do you go to therapy?
Work
do you do
out.
therapy?
No.
You do work out.
I have to work out. I do a lot of
calm you down.
Running will calm me down. Anything like bike ride. I'll ride my bike.
You box or anything like that?
No, I'm afraid. I did that before. Me and my buddy Rocco. Yeah, because I get if I get hit, I react. Here's the thing. Like Rocco was like, "No, we'll spar," and I'm like, "I don't think you want to do that." It's like the Ferrigno. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, but people who are sitting there listening to you right now, they forget you used to wrestle.
Oh yeah.
You go back. See, if you go back and listen to the episodes, you were in. Was it Glow?
No, that's rude to put me that old. I like it, but no, that means I look good for.
Was Glow earlier?
It was the early '80s,
oh,
mid '80s, I think. So I was still robbing supermarkets. No, I'm kidding.
What was your league again?
So it was WOW, Women of Wrestling.
Wow, that's
and it. I did. I played Easy Rider.
Mm-hmm.
And so Easy Rider was, and then I went back and did commentary for them. It's about 5 years ago. So I still work for WOW. Yeah, they're still around. WOW is amazing. The girls now, I think, wrestle. I mean, they're good.
Are they insane? Like doing just sick shit? Like,
but
you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's what. But here's the thing: like, we got cast as actors to play, almost like the show Glow.
Right.
You know, the Marin, that one.
Yeah.
Like when I watched that, I thought, oh, that's what happened to me. It was an audition, and I was like, I'm down on my luck, and I did it, and I got the job. And when I started wrestling, I was like, oh shit, now I got to really wrestle. But that was good because you're not hitting, you know, certain times.
Yeah, of course.
You get hit.
Sure.
I got hurt. I had a hairline fracture in my collarbone. I busted my pinky, broke my pinky because Selena, who was training us with the mullet, she was the best. Selena Majors, a phenomenal wrestler who wrestled in Japan and wrestled for years, knows every wrestler and is well respected by all of them. She was our trainer, Selena, and Peggy Lee Leather. Well, that was her name before she became my Peggy Harley's Angels. She was our gang leader. Oh, no, wait. Peggy Lee Leather was what we called her. Oh, shit. What was her famous name before that? I forget what her, I'm mixing them up. But Peggy, she's also phenomenal. And her and Selena wrestled for years on the road. And so she taught us a lot. But Selena was busy training everybody else. And one of the matches was supposed to be her and I. The storyline is she has to fight me and my partner, Charlie Davidson. Charlie.
Nuh-uh.
They gave me a partner.
Nuh-uh.
I'm easy.
Of all the goddamn names the world could pick, they give you the one that you say Charlie.
Tell him, Charlie. If you watch old clips of WOW, you'll hear me talking shit because that's what I got hired for, talking shit. I'm talking shit on the mic, and then I go, tell him, Charlie, and I throw the mic down. Like, why? And so, and whatever. So I'm Easy Rider, she's Charlie Davidson, and then Peggy was our gang leader. So in order for Selena to fight Peggy, she had to fight both of us separately. So Selena's doing everything. She's training everybody and doing everybody's matches, right? So I said, hey, Selena, this is odd, but our fight's tomorrow night. I don't know what the match is. She goes, don't worry, Easy. I'm going to call it. I'm sorry, what was that? She goes, I'm going to call it. And I'm like, you're going to call what? And she goes, I'm going to whisper in your ear what moves to do.
Nuh-uh.
I swear.
You're going into a match just blind, and she's going to whisper every move.
Yes. Watch the match.
Nuh-uh. You can see it. It's not even.
Selena Majors versus Easy Rider. It is hilarious.
Do you hear her saying it? And
No.
stuff? No.
We're at the Forum in Inglewood. Packed. Jam.
Was it really?
Packed.
You wrestled at the Forum?
In Inglewood.
Was
So
this
exciting.
Like, oh, I'll bet. Yeah.
So exciting. And some of the older guys used to come and see us. You know, I met a lot of people there, you know, because they were friendly with Selena and Peggy. So it was exciting. I met Sergeant Slaughter, you know, killer. Like, so, you know, I have to wrestle in jeans. So it's already 1,000 degrees, right? My hair's stuck to my head. I got all this makeup on. I'm dressed like a biker chick. And so I'm in the corner, and Selena gave me this one thing that I used to do. And, it became like a joke. The Bronco Buster was one of my moves, right? I didn't know, she's gay and she likes me to bounce my clit on her chest. So I'm just kidding. I love you, Selena. But we would tease about it. We got so close that we would tease about it, whatever. So, but that's basically what it is. You're pouncing on this person's chest. So that was definitely going to be in there. So I knew certain things. I just didn't know when, And so we start off, lock up, and she looks and she goes, okay, and she calls it. And I'm like, what? As I'm getting clotheslined, right? And everything in wrestling is to the left, right? Because
is that right?
If you're most people are right-handed.
Okay.
So if you go to the left, you're not going to hurt the person as much. So I'm like, what'd you say? I'm on the wrong side. So I get knocked the fuck out, basically.
got really knocked
like,
out.
I got hit hard. And I'm like, oh, they're like, that was an amazing bump. And I'm like, no, she's dead. I'm dead. That hurt. And I'm like, fuck. And part of me wants to hit her because of my anger. And I'm like, no, this is, it can't be Hulk Hogan and Rocky. They don't know you. Just pay attention. And so I'm like, oh my God, and so I'm trying. I got a little bit here and there. And then she hits me with a fucking chair. And
Are you serious?
I panic and I go, what the fuck? And that's how I broke my pinky. Because I go to grab it like, I'm going to hit you with the chair. Oh, you want to hit the chair? Patty Catlin. He taught me how to take knives off people. I'm like, so that's how I broke my pinky. And she was like, easy, but the match is hilarious. And it has some of my favorite still pictures from, because the sunset flip was a thing I would do all the time.
The sunset flip.
So she pulls me in and my hair just goes all up in the air and I just flip and fly at least like all the way to the other side of the ring, because that was my thing. I was a good victim, whatever, like opponent, because I would play dead and I could fly, So she flips me over and there's a great picture of her pulling me and my hair in the air, like midair, and her muscles and mullet just out and about.
I love that you did that.
But yeah, that was the scariest. But what I'm saying is, like, when you get hit and hurt, like with the boxing, if somebody hurts me, I don't know what'll happen. Like,
you're no longer going to box. You're just going to fucking...
I'm scared. Yeah. So I have that thing where I lose it and I
just training on a bag then.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Just
Yeah.
beat up a
Because hurting
bag.
myself is great. I love that. But my brother Jimmy, he, the older half took care of the younger half with us. So Jimmy, I remember he was on the phone with his girlfriend. We always talk about this story because it's like this. It's one of the scariest that happened in our house, and there was some scary shit. So my brother Billy, Jimmy was telling us what to do, and we were kind of growing, like, he telling us what to do. We're 11 and 12, like, we fucking know what we're doing, idiots. And Jimmy's our older brother. He's 8 years older than me. So Billy's older than me, so he's 7 years older than Billy. So Billy's fuck you, and he throws the Frisbee. And now Jimmy's very tough, uncomfortably tough. He throws the Frisbee, hits Jimmy in the face, and he goes, motherfucker, because he's on the phone with his girlfriend. He goes, motherfucker, and he knocks it down, and he gives Billy a look. So he's like, yeah. And then he touched his lip, and it was bleeding. I swear he went like that, like, and then the phone, he didn't hang it up. He just dropped it. And the rage, me and Charlie had to go get a neighbor.
Nuh-uh.
I'm not kidding, to get him off of
His own brother.
He was, and I mean, beating. And we got another, like, one of the toughest guys in the neighborhood, this guy Georgie Martin, God rest his soul. We had Georgie come in and take him off, and Jimmy was like, like, there's the only person that could stop Jimmy. And Georgie, I remember him pulling him and saying, Jim, look at me. It's your brother. That's your little brother. It was, but we go when we go.
I bet your little brother fucking learned that. I bet you.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I've ever seen him.
I don't want to play Frisbee. I'm good, man.
I don't go to the beach. I've never seen him throw a Frisbee.
He's got Frisbee trauma. This poor motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't even know why we had a Frisbee, but I guess, we played Frisbee at some point.
You're the best. Listen, thank you for coming.
I love it.
This is the best. Thank you for doing audio in my kitchen when we first started this podcast.
Oh my God,
Thank you for coming back.
I love how it's grown. This is amazing.
Please promote everything, whatever, again. Plug it all.
I promise
websites, all that stuff.
I will. I should look up those dates with Holtzman, because
look it up.
That's exciting. But I am in La Jolla.
What's your website? Do you have it on your website,
Eleanor
right?
J. Kerrigan. Eleanor Kerrigan.
But do you put it on your website? You said I know. You got to bang a millennial so you can get those dates up. But
here's the thing. I tried to update on this website, and I had a nervous breakdown. So I called my friend Ari, and Ari was going to help me, but Ari was busy with his podcast, so he couldn't help me. And then he learned how to do it, in a second. And he's like, I'll just show you. But I had to go on the road, and I left for 20 days, and I did my album. My album is coming out
There you go.
in the summer.
There you go. All right.
And so in the summer, look for an album. I'm excited about this. This is my first ever, and I did it in Jersey to, capacity. So I tease Dice and say, this is my day the laughter die, because there's nobody there. There's like 20 people. So, so May 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I'm in La Jolla at the Comedy Store. And then June 24th through 27th, I will be with the great Brian Holtzman at the Laugh Factory.
That's going to be fun.
Silver Legacy in Reno. And then I have a bunch more dates, and I promise I'll update them.
All right,
I will
good.
sleep with Ari to get it.
Yeah, sleep,
Not
bang 'em out.
Shafir. It's a different
Yeah,
one.
I
Thank
know.
God. A lot of Jews were named Ari. Anyway, more
Thank
racism.
you, Eleanor. I love you. As always, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all social media. We'll talk to y'all next week.